Okay, now the next thing that's going to help us a lot with is this right here. Now I've written a squared plus b squared equals c squared for you. Now I give you two of the letters, you have to find the third one. Now sometimes it's b, sometimes it's c, sometimes it's a. So a you know is 3, so 3 to the second. Now b you don't know, but don't write x for that. That was a stupid way to teach that. Keep the b the way it is with the second power. And then equals, then your c is 5 to the second. Now we need to get rid of those second powers on the actual numbers. So I found what 3 to the second is. So 3, and then you just hit the fourth key up, not the second though. 3 to the second is 9. So this now becomes 9. Plus, now b is a letter, so I can't do that. I keep b to the second. Then 5 to the second is 25. Okay, now here's how we're going to find b. We're going to put the 1 in front, dot and circle. Now these two go together, 9 and 25. Here's my equals. They are on opposite sides, so I want a minus. But I got to minus the one that's being added to the bubble, which is 9. Okay. Oops, another thing I forgot. Put b squared equals and then b equals. You should do that once you're to here. I'll try to do a better job on the next problem. And then I minus 9 from 25. So 25 minus 9 is 16. Now you got multiplication, but it's a 1, so you can get rid of the 1, and now you know that b to the second equals 16. Okay. Now you square root the 16. Second, go the fourth key up, 16, and that's 4. Okay, so b equals 4. You don't need the negative for it. On the on a squared, b squared, c squared, you just need the positive. That's on an x problem, where you need the positive and negative. Now, a's 4, b's 7, c we don't know. Okay, so a would be 4 to the second. Don't forget the second. You can't just put 4 plus b. b we have 7 to the second. And c we don't know, so that's going to be c to the second. Now get rid of those second powers where possible. So 4 to the second is 16. Then we're adding 7 to the second is 49. Then I don't know the c because that's a question mark, so we keep that as c to the second. Now, after those as many second powers are gone as I can, now I need to get c to the second and then c. Okay. So I put a 1 dot and circle, and that leaves these two. Well, those are on the same side, so same means we're going to add. Okay. So adding just means cross them out and add them. 16 plus 49 is 65. Now I would divide, but it's a 1, so we get rid of it. And I know what c to the second is. It's 65. And then I find the square root of 65. Second, go fourth key up. What number times itself is 65? Well, it's a decimal. It's 8.06. Okay. One thing, your c should always be the highest number you get. Okay. And if it's not, something's wrong. Okay, next one. A, don't know it. B, I know is 7, so 7 to the second. C, I know is 10, 10 to the second. Okay, now get rid of as many second powers as you can. You can't get rid of the first one because you have a letter. Okay. Then 7 to the second, I can go 7, fourth key up, 49. So I add 49. And then I write equals. Then 10 to the second is 100. And now I can now solve for A. So again, I get A to the second equals and A equals this time. Okay. So I put a 1 in front, dot and circle. Now these two have to go together. Those are like terms. They are on opposite sides, so we're going to minus, but we got to minus the correct number. I minus the number that's being added to my circle, which is 49. So minus 49, and I minus 49 from 100. 51. Now normally I would divide by the dotted number, but since it's a 1, it's not going to impact anything because 51 divided by 1 is 51. So I put 51 here, and now I'm ready to square root. So I find the square root of 51. That's 7.14. And go put that up in the box. Remember, your C has to be longer, and it is. 10 is bigger than 7 or 7.14. Okay, my next one. My A is 5. My B is 8. I do not know my C. Don't write X again. Keep it the same letter. So now get rid of as many of the second powers as you can. You're simplifying the equation. So 5 to the second, it'd be 5 times 5. That'd be 25. Plus 8 to the second, I can get rid of the second power there, and that's 64. And the C I don't know. That's my variable. Okay. Now I get C to the second equals, and then C equals. Okay, so I dot 1 dot, and these two would go together. Okay, so here's my equals. They're on the same side. So that's when I just add them together. So I don't need to show a lot of work. I just cross that out. I take 25 plus 64, which is 89. Now, I would divide, but it's a 1. 89 divided by 1 is 89, so we can get rid of the 1. So I know C to the second is 89. Now I find the number times itself, that's 89. Okay. So I go second, fourth key up. That's 9.43. And that's what C equals. Again, in Pythagorean theorem, you're always finding out what the number to the second equals, and then square rooting to find the number. Okay, next problem. Tells me A is 5. B I don't know, so I keep it as B. Don't write X. Okay, and then C is 14. Okay, so now I get rid of as many second powers as I can. 5 to the second is 25. B is a letter, so that second power stays. 14 to the second, I can find that on a calculator. 14 times 14 is 196. And now I can get B to the second equals, and then B equals. So I put the 1 and dot it so I can see what numbers, okay? Those two are like terms. They're on opposite sides, so opposite sides is minus. Same side is just adding them, but opposite minus. And when you minus, you got to minus the correct number. You minus 25 because that's the number that's added to your variable, your letter. Okay, so I take 196 minus 25 is 171. Okay. Now I would divide, but it's just a 1, so we get rid of it, and I now know that B to the second is equal to 171. Then I find the square root. So second, fourth key up. Okay, 13.07, and that is my B. Okay, my next problem, A is 6, B is 5, and I don't know C, okay? So I get rid of as many second powers as I can. 6 to the second is 36, plus 5 to the second is 25. I do not know my c, okay? But now I get c to the second equals, and then what is c equal? Now I put a 1 in front, dot it, and circle it. Okay, that doesn't take a lot of work. Okay. And these two go together, and here's my equals. They're on the same side, so I'm going to add. Just adding them, I can cross it out and take 36 plus 25. That's 61. Now I would divide 61 by 1, but that doesn't change anything. That's still 61 as long as that's a 1. Now if that was a 2, I'd have to divide. So c to the second is 61, and then I find the square root of 61. 7.81. Okay, so 7.81. You don't need the negative. On A, B, C, you just take the positive. Okay, next one. A, I don't know. Keep the A variable. B we know is 8. 8 to the second. C we have 12. 12 to the second. Okay, then I get rid of as many second powers as I can. So A to the second stays the same because that's a letter. Then plus 64. And 12 to the second is 144. Now I can get the A to the second by itself and then find what the A is. So I 1 and dot it. Here's my equals. They're on opposite sides, so we need to minus. But you got to minus the correct number. The 64 is the one to minus because that's the number being added to your bubble. Okay, 144 minus 64 is 80. Now, normally I would divide by 1, but if there's a 1 there, 80 divided by 1 is still 80. So A to the second is 80. To find the number times itself, we square root. 8.94. A second plus B second equals C to the second. So my A is 3. B is 10. And C I don't know. Okay, so, because that's the question mark. Okay, so I get rid of as many second powers as I can. 3 second is 9. 10 to the second is 100. And I don't know C. Okay, we got to keep that. Now I get C to the second and C. Okay. So I put my 1 in front, dot it. Now look at these guys. They're on the same side, so we just add. Okay. So 9 plus 100 is 109. And I have a 1 there, so I can just cancel the 1. Okay. So I now know that C to the second is 109, and then the number times itself, I need to find the square root of 109. Okay, 10.44. And there's your C.